Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
You're listening to Bloomberg Businessweek with Carol Massar and Tim Stenovec on Bloomberg Radio.
Well, we've gotten some various reads on the consumer thanks to recent reports from Nike, Carnival, and the U.S. airlines. We're also going to get a read when the banks report in the coming weeks. So what about a view from a small business? Candice Safdieh is the founder and CEO of Snoga Athletics. She joins us in New York in the Bloomberg Interactive Brokers studio. Candice, welcome. We do want to get your read on the consumer, on the market. But first, Snoga makes what you describe as modest activewear. Define it. What exactly is it?
So I created about 20 years ago out of high school a skirt with an attached legging. So the skirt comes to about the knee, sometimes a couple inches above, for any woman who's looking to be a little bit more covered in the gym.
Why did you think we needed to do that? Although I kind of love the idea, but go ahead.
So it all started literally 20 years ago, right when I graduated high school. Yeah. I decided for religious reasons I was going to start wearing skirts. Nothing was out there. There was no Instagram, no Facebook. And I created the first sample. I actually worked for my father at the time, who was in the clothing manufacturing business. And I created the sample for myself, sold it door to door. There was some interest. And I figured if I needed it, someone else must need it. But the world wasn't as small back then because of the lack of social media.
So I wonder about the, what was happening at that time, because I feel like that was like pre-athleisure at that time.
It definitely was. There was nothing out there.
Yeah, so since then, athleisure has just taken off. So you were early to something. You saw something early. What has happened to this market since you entered it? It seems like it's become so much more competitive.
Yes, we actually created a category, honestly. When we started back when I was 19, so a little less than 20 years ago, when I started the business, we were selling door to door. I had a couple kids. I stopped for a few years, and then I ended up partnering with my mother and my husband. We're now a family business, and we grew the line from one style now to about 30 different styles. And yes, we just molded in with the rest of the world, melted in with the rest of the world of athleisure. So we didn't look at it like athleisure at the time. We looked at it like exercise clothing, but now the word is athleisure, and that's what we're doing.
It's so funny. I was thinking about it in prep for this segment, and I think there was something either I read in the Times, and it was like, or something on social about there's like a little bit of a debate between like tight, athleisure wear at the gym versus stuff that's a little bit more baggy. And yes. I do feel like it is evolving. You think about, though, as you said, you wanted to wear like a skirt or something, like you were thinking about wearing skirts.
Yes.
But there are different cultures and people who work out, but still want this kind of, wardrobe and clothes to wear. And it sounds like that's really part of what you were thinking and the mission.
Yes, so that's pretty much the whole story. I was just saying, as a kid, I was watching an Oprah episode, and there was a Muslim lady who was a trainer, and she was explaining in the interview that she used to wear a baggy long T-shirt because she couldn't find anything that would suit her working out. I was a kid at the time, so obviously that stayed in the back of my head. Now, fast forward years later, when I was in the same position, I couldn't believe how many women fall under the same umbrella with wanting this. And now, 10 years officially into this business, it's more than just religious reasons. There's women that just, either their age or they just don't feel comfortable in a legging alone.
Right, exactly.
Is all direct to consumer? What's your distribution?
Yes, so the majority of our company is, yes, our website. And we're on Amazon, we're in boutiques around the country.
Where do you see the biggest driver of traffic?
Is our website is our main driver of traffic, yes.
More so than Amazon?
Much more.
And do you prefer people buy directly from you rather than through Amazon?
Definitely.
Is it more expensive to? Okay,
definitely,
interesting.
Yes, because our customer service is our main part of how we started and wanted to separate ourselves with every other. Well, there wasn't really any other company. Now there is, but that's a main part of our business is, making our customers happy, bringing them back.
And I love it that, it's for women, but it's also for girls. So you're thinking about, a younger generation who probably have the same needs, demands, or wants,
exactly.
Right?
And we sell little girls now also.
Yeah. So, okay, we are Bloomberg. You've been doing this now, you said, for 10 years?
So 10 years, I did start it, and then I stopped it. So I guess officially 10 years.
Officially 10 years. So give us an idea of like the growth of this business, because I do think, certainly coming off the pandemic, let's go there. Like, what was it like working through the pandemic?
It was very interesting. We were very lucky. We had the pandemic hit, the world was shutting down, and our last shipment just slid right in perfect timing before the world was basically crashing down. And we did very well. We did very well during the pandemic.
Did demand ramp up?
Yes, it really did, because people were at home. They were working out at home. People were on their computers more, on their phones more. We were also on social media, on Instagram at the perfect time when that first started, a few years in. So we got the best of Instagram as it first
Before
started.
I toss, I know Tim wants to jump back in again, but what about supply chains? Like, what was that like during the pandemic? Do you guys manufacture overseas?
We manufacture both overseas and domestically.
You do?
Yes, we do. So we did a little bit of both, and it just, thankfully, it worked out.
What's the cost difference in doing it? Because I think this is something, it's interesting. Post-pandemic, we are talking to more and more companies that have multiple supply chains or are growing their supply chains to make sure, and often having a supply chain in the market that they sell. Is there big differences in terms of cost and doing business, an overseas supply chain versus the U.S. supply chain?
There is a cost difference. It's also a little bit easier overseas for certain things, like it's like with trims and things, come out a little bit faster. But we do make it a point to manufacture here also.
Do you plan to move manufacturing completely over here?
We're thinking about doing more of a percentage here. Yes.
So Carol was asking about cost, but I mean, is it feasible to actually not import? We talk a lot about what the president wants to see, and that's, manufacturing return here to the U.S., but there are some things that just make it incredibly difficult, namely
so
cost.
Here in New York City, it's not as simple to manufacture activewear as it is maybe somewhere in LA.
Yeah.
But once you set yourself up for that kind of system, which I guess it just ends up working out with the numbers, and you could tweak here and tweak there. Anything's possible.
How do you think about, we, as you would guess, talk a lot about news coming out of Washington and love talking to small business owners, medium-sized business owners. It's so much the backbone of the U.S. economy. We feel like we also talk to, the CEOs of publicly held companies, big companies, and the idea of uncertainty that's out there, not showing what's going to come down in terms of regulations and policies, it's making it tough for, I think, some companies to move forward. Tell us how any of this is impacting your environment.
I think it would be nice to have more support for small businesses. I don't think there is nearly enough support at all. But I think, yes, you do need the small businesses, because now you're finding the small businesses are the ones that are having these ideas, and now the larger companies are buying them. So we have to support the small businesses a lot better than we are now.
Candice, what would you like to see in terms of a specific small business policies? Like, what kind of policies do you think are lacking that would actually help you and others in the small business community?
Well, I just think like opportunities, either if it's I guess it depends on the state you're actually working out of, also with tax benefits and certain opportunities like that. But that's a large part of it.
Yeah.
Small businesses can carry certain expenses like that.
Yeah.
And keep going strong.
And it varies certainly, right, from state to state.
Yeah, especially since you're trying to employ local people.
Yeah.
You need that support.
Where do you see demand coming from? I know certainly I would imagine New York City is a big market, but where are your big markets?
So our main customer is in the South. That's our
Really?
that's our main customer. We have more
Where
of a
in the
conservative
South?
customer. So we do a ton of business in Texas. It's really everywhere, but a lot of business in Texas. We do a lot of business in Indiana. I'm trying to think of the main places.
Do you know other demographic info about your customers?
Our main demographic of our customer would be more of a conservative customer,
Right.
In the way they dress, in the way they live. But now recently we designed a skirt that's called a perfect pencil skirt that I would compare to the Lululemon men's tech pant for men. So it's a wrinkle-resistant, ribbed, high-performance fabric skirt. That's for the everyday working person, nothing to do with modest. Not modest, most women wear, I should say most, there's a lot of women that wear skirts to work, and it's just great. Roll it in a bowl, stick it in your bag. You could actually wear it to the gym if you wanted. You could wear it to skirt, to back to work.
I have to tell you, I'd wear this to work.
It's a great skirt.
Oh my God. Wait, which one is it? Wait, I'm looking at a couple
It's
different
called
ones.
our perfect pencil skirt. It has 2 flat pockets in the front, so it's very, very flattering. It looks great on everybody from an extra small all the way to 3X. We're very size inclusive.
Yeah.
And it's an amazing skirt.
And listen, I have often found yoga pants and different things that are they actually look so good that you can wear them. So where do you want to go with this? Give us an idea, and give us an idea how much the business has grown.
So our business grew a nice amount in the past few years.
What's a nice amount? That's not a Bloomberg term.
Doesn't sound like a number.
We were growing like 50% for a few years.
Yeah.
And then now it's taking smaller percentages, but it's growing.
But it's also off a larger base, I would assume.
Exactly. It's also,
Yeah.
we introduce a lot of new things to the line.
Yeah.
Trying to see what sticks. Our little girls line is doing very well.
I could see that. Yeah.
And we're trying to bring in we brought in this year our weekend wear, our dresses, our skirts, and that's doing well also.
Yeah, it's like you're branching out. Are the dudes going to get anything or nah?
So actually, it's funny. We do get some requests for our bike shorts with actual like a short or legging attached.
Yeah.
But we're focusing now on our little girls and our ladies. There's still a little bit of a hole in the market. So.
Yeah. That totally makes sense. So fun to talk with you.
Thank you.
I truly mean it. Like, we talk to a lot of the large cap companies, always important, but it's really fun to get an idea of what's going on, especially for small businesses, because you continue to do your thing, right?
Yes.
Really good stuff. Candice, thank you so much.
you.
Have a great weekend. Candice Safdieh, she's founder and CEO of Snoga Athletics, joining us right here in our Bloomberg Interactive Brokers studio.